Hey everyone, RedHolm here. Today I'm going to review the game called Recettear. The name Recettear is a combination of the two main characters' names, the human girl called Recette and the fairy called Tear. The game's main story revolves around the main character Recette inheriting her father's debt when he mysteriously disappears, so her choices are to give up the house or pay up. So she does what any rational child would do, she opens a store and goes adventuring. The Recettear is a game made by the Japanese developer EasyGameStation and was localized into English by Carpe Fulgur and was released to Steam in September 2010. The game shares a lot of similarities to the game Chanterlise from the same company that came out in 2006 in Japan. The game is not hard to get into, but that does not have to be a bad thing. When you go around town, you will meet and talk to the people living there. You will see the town part light up when there is someone there to speak to, although the main story will not require you to do so. This is just extra stuff for the game. Although this game does not have a lot of voice acting, but they have some small sound clips here and there in Japanese. The economy system in this game works pretty well, even if it's not very complicated. Although prices will rise and fall depending on the mood of the town or what you have been selling like crazy. People will come into your store to buy and sell items. You can buy items from the two shops in town, or you can go adventuring for items. And because of how the economy system works, you don't actually have to go adventuring if that's not something you like doing. You could just buy and sell items all day getting your stock from the markets. The game has a very anime-like visual design, and if you like anime and such, you will like this. Although if you really don't like anime, you might not. If you're a fan of the simpler top-down dungeon crawl games, you will have fun here. If you want something more advanced and complicated, this won't be the game for you. The combat system in this game is not the most complicated thing ever. The way that you attack is with a series of either melee attacks, charged ranged attacks, or magic attacks, special attacks, and that's about it. And if you want to block, all you have to do is just not attack. Although not all characters can block. While going from floor to floor in the dungeons, you might get a message saying that monsters or you have become stronger in one way or the other. To do a dungeon crawl, you will have to hire an adventurer. You can get more adventures by doing a various amount of things. The first one is a freebie and you will always have him. Others might need you to gather materials for them, or you might find them in a dungeon. While in the dungeon you will have a limited inventory space, so you probably won't be able to get everything with you. But later in the game, when you gain merchant levels, you will also get inventory space. You can craft gear items in the game with the crafting materials you find while adventuring. Where the higher the plus on the materials, the higher quality the gear will be. Although getting these items to an adventurer can be a pain, since you kinda just have to wait for them to want to buy it in the store, or for them to order items for that equipment slot. You level up your merchant level by doing well in the store, and the higher your level, the bigger your store gets, and you get more options in customizing your shop. You get points in this by making more and more sales in a row. The game is pretty hard to get in your first try, so if you don't manage to do it, don't worry. You get your merchant levels, adventure levels, and items with you to your next try to make that one easier. If you think the game sounds interesting but you don't want to pay the $20 or so for it, fear not. The game is just about always on the Steam sales when Steam is having, like their summer sales, the winter sales, their random sales. It's usually on the sales. All in all, I love this game. All the negatives I have for it just comes from it being what it is. Not everyone will like its anime aesthetics. Not everyone will like a dungeon crawl. But I still love it, because I kinda like both of those. But, thank you all for watching. See you guys next review.